When it comes to attraction, one of the greatest mistakes men make is waiting for words. They sit back expecting a woman to openly declare her desire, not realizing that this is rarely how women operate. Most women will not come right out and say, "I'm sexually attracted to you." Instead, they reveal it through signals that are subtle, layered, and often unconscious. And the most powerful of these signals is body language. Her body will often speak long before her lips ever do. Think about it. Human beings are wired for nonverbal communication. Long before language existed, our bodies told stories, gave signals, warned of danger, and expressed desire. Evolution has preserved this truth. Attraction still begins in the body. When a woman is drawn to you sexually, her body gives her away in ways she cannot easily control. The slight lean toward you when you speak, the soft parting of the lips when she listens, the dilated pupils, the way her shoulders square in your direction. These are not rehearsed gestures. They are primal expressions of interest. Psychologically, this is explained by what researchers call proxemics, the study of how people use space in social interactions. A woman who is attracted will often reduce the physical distance between you. She may step into your personal space, sit closer than necessary, or find reasons to linger in your presence. It isn't always bold. Sometimes it's as small as turning her knees toward you instead of away, or keeping her body oriented in your direction even when others are speaking. These cues are her way of signaling, often without full awareness, "I am open to you. I am drawn to you." Philosophically, body language is fascinating because it reveals what the conscious mind tries to conceal. Words can lie, the body rarely does. A woman may verbally downplay her interest, either because of social conditioning, fear of rejection, or simply wanting you to take the lead. But her body tells the truth, and if you pay attention, you'll see that truth written in the rhythm of her movements, in the softness of her smile, in the way she unconsciously mirrors your gestures. This mirroring, by the way, is one of the clearest signs of attraction. When she copies your posture, your hand movements, even the cadence of your speech, it's her subconscious aligning with you, her body saying, "We are in sync." But here's where most men fail. They notice these signals, but dismiss them as coincidence, or they ignore them out of fear of misreading. This hesitation causes them to miss opportunities for deeper connection. You must learn to read body language not as a guessing game, but as a dialogue. Her body is speaking. Your role is to listen with awareness, not arrogance. This doesn't mean assuming every gesture is desire. It means interpreting patterns. One glance might be chance. Repeated eye contact, leaning in, and playful gestures together form a narrative. That narrative is attraction. Now, why does this matter so much? Because when you recognize the unspoken signs, you gain clarity. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop treating attraction as a mystery and start seeing it as a language you can learn. And once you understand that language, you can respond with confidence. You can meet her gaze instead of breaking it. You can lean in when she leans in. You can mirror her openness with your own. In short, you can move the interaction forward without fear because you're no longer operating blind. You're reading the truth her body is already offering you. And let's take this even deeper. When you attune yourself to body language, you begin to respect the unspoken layers of human interaction. You recognize that attraction is not just about what is said, but about what is felt. This elevates you from being a man who reacts only to obvious signals to a man who perceives nuance, who understands people on a deeper level. That is magnetic in itself. Women are drawn to men who see beyond the surface, who pay attention, who make them feel noticed without judgment. So the next time you find yourself wondering whether she's attracted to you, don't wait for words. Look for the lean, the gaze, the small touches, the subtle mirroring. Pay attention to the way her energy shifts when you enter the room, the way her body seems to gravitate toward yours even without deliberate action. These are not accidents. They are clues that reveal desire hidden beneath the surface. Because in the end, attraction is not announced, it is expressed. And if you can learn to see what her body is saying, you will no longer be the man left confused or uncertain. You will be the man who understands. And understanding, gentlemen, is power. Touch is one of the oldest languages of human connection. Long before we could form words, we reached for one another with our hands. A hand on the shoulder, a brush on the arm, a gentle graze of fingers. These gestures carry meaning far deeper than casual contact. And when a woman is sexually attracted to you, she often communicates it through breaking the barrier of touch. It's her way of letting you know that her comfort with you has moved beyond the platonic. Now, this doesn't mean every touch is an invitation. That's where awareness and discernment come in. But what's undeniable is that touch is one of the clearest markers of attraction when placed in the right context. A woman who is drawn to you will often find subtle ways to close the physical distance, to shrink the invisible boundary that exists between two people. She might touch your arm when she laughs, lightly brush something off your shirt, or let her leg rest against yours without pulling away. These are not accidents. They are signals, whether conscious or unconscious, that her body feels magnetized toward yours. Psychologically, this makes perfect sense. Human beings release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, through physical touch. It is the chemical that builds trust, creates closeness, and deepens intimacy. When she initiates touch, even in small ways, it's her biology expressing what her words may never confess. Her nervous system feels safe around you, and more importantly, it feels drawn to you. That touch is not just casual, it's her way of building a bridge into something deeper. Philosophically, touch is also profound because it collapses the separation between two individuals. In the physical act of reaching out, she is saying, I allow you closer. I am opening a door to you. And attraction at its core is about openness. When she breaks that barrier, she is not just touching your skin. She is signaling vulnerability, trust, and desire. This is why touch feels so different depending on the context. A handshake with a stranger means little, but the same hand resting gently on your chest from a woman you're drawn to can electrify you. It carries weight because of the meaning beneath it. Now, here's where men often miss the mark. Some men are oblivious. They dismiss her touches as meaningless or don't notice them at all. Others, on the opposite extreme, misinterpret every touch as attraction, which leads to arrogance and missteps. The truth lies in balance. You must pay attention not to isolated moments, but to patterns. One touch can be politeness. Repeated, lingering, or playful touches reveal intent. If she consistently finds ways to make contact, especially in moments charged with laughter or closeness, that is attraction speaking through action. It's also important to recognize the difference between neutral touch and intimate touch. Neutral touch might be handing you something or brushing past you in a crowded space. Intimate touch, however, carries a softness, a deliberate quality, even when disguised as casual. Think about the difference between her tapping your arm quickly to get your attention versus her letting her hand linger for just a second longer than necessary. That second is where attraction lies. But here's something deeper. When a woman touches you, she's not just expressing desire, she's testing safety. She wants to know how you respond. Do you recoil? Do you freeze? Do you meet her energy with steadiness and warmth? Your response tells her if her openness is welcome. This is why your awareness matters so much. When you recognize her touch for what it is, you don't overreact or undervalue it. You receive it with groundedness, signaling to her that her openness is safe with you. And safety, combined with desire, is the foundation of unforgettable attraction. So, what do you do with this knowledge? You learn to see touch as more than physical contact. You understand it as a window into her feelings, a tangible expression of the intangible. When she breaks the barrier, she is inviting you into a space of closeness that words cannot capture. It's an unspoken permission, a signal that her attraction has moved from curiosity to embodiment. And if you can meet that with presence, if you can mirror her openness without rushing or misusing it, you transform the moment into connection. Because the truth is, attraction is not just about chemistry. It's about energy, trust, and timing. Touch is her way of letting you know that all three are aligning in your favor. So pay attention. Don't dismiss the hand on your arm, the brush on your shoulder, or the playful push when she laughs. These are not empty gestures. They are her body telling you what her words may never reveal outright. I am drawn to you. I want to be closer to you. And the man who can recognize that truth without hesitation, who can see beyond the surface into the meaning beneath, is the man who will never be left guessing. because attraction may begin in the eyes, but it always finds its confirmation in touch. One of the most overlooked indicators of sexual attraction is the way a woman's energy shifts in your presence. Energy may sound like an abstract concept, but you know exactly what I mean. Think of the last time someone walked into a room and suddenly the atmosphere felt different. Conversation grew brighter, laughter louder, and people seemed more alive simply because of that person's presence. Attraction works in a similar way. When a woman is drawn to you, her energy naturally rises around you, and her attention sharpens in a way that is impossible to fake. Pay close attention to how she behaves with you compared to others. A woman who is simply being polite may smile, nod, and keep the interaction surface level. But a woman who is attracted to you gives you more than politeness. She gives you presence. Her laughter comes more easily. Her curiosity about you deepens, and she finds reasons to extend the interaction instead of rushing it. Even if you're surrounded by others, you'll notice her focus returning to you, as though you are the anchor in the room. That's attraction at work. From a psychological standpoint, this is rooted in selective attention. The human brain filters millions of stimuli every second, choosing what deserves focus and what can fade into the background. When she is sexually drawn to you, her brain prioritizes you. It gives you space at the center of her awareness. She's not just hearing your words, she's tuned in to the way you speak, the way you move, the energy you project. And this level of focus cannot be manufactured for long. It's fueled by genuine desire. There's also a physiological dimension to this. Attraction activates the brain's reward system. When she's near you, dopamine levels rise, creating feelings of excitement and anticipation. That's why she seems more animated, more engaged, more alive in your presence. Her body is literally rewarding her for paying attention to you. That's why her energy feels different. It's not just social, it's chemical. Philosophically, I'd take it even deeper. A woman's attention is one of the most valuable gifts she can offer. In a world full of distractions, giving you her full presence signals not just attraction, but reverence. She is saying, "You are worth my time. You are worth my focus. You matter more than the noise around me." This is why you must never take her attention lightly. If her energy rises when you walk into the room, that is not just a compliment, it's an invitation. It's her way of drawing you closer, of aligning her essence with yours. Now, here's where many men stumble. They notice her energy, but second guess it. They tell themselves, she's just being nice, or she's like this with everyone. And sometimes that may be true, but patterns don't lie. If she consistently lights up when you appear, if her attention consistently gravitates toward you, if she invests more of herself in conversation with you than with others, that is not coincidence. That is attraction making itself visible through her behavior. Equally important is how you handle her attention. Some men bask in it, but fail to reciprocate. They treat her focus as something to consume rather than something to honor. Others, out of insecurity, downplay it or retreat from it. The man who stands out is the one who meets her energy with steadiness, who matches her attention with his own. Because when she feels that you are not only noticing her energy, but valuing it, she leans in even more. The dynamic deepens, and what began as attraction becomes connection. So I challenge you to sharpen your awareness. Don't just hear her words. Watch the way her whole being responds to you. Notice the heightened laughter, the eagerness in her questions, the way her body seems more alive in your presence. Notice how she chooses you with her focus, even when she doesn't say it outright. These are not surface-level signs. They are signals from the core of her attraction. And here's the final truth: energy doesn't lie. Words can be rehearsed. Touch can sometimes be disguised as politeness, but energy cannot be faked. If her presence feels more electric when you are near, if her attention feels more anchored on you than on anyone else, you don't need her to spell it out. Her attraction is already speaking through the very way she shows up when you're around. So remember this: the woman who is sexually drawn to you doesn't just give you her body language or her touch. She gives you her energy, her focus, her aliveness. And that gift, if you're wise enough to notice it, tells you everything you need to know. Because in the end, attraction is not just seen or felt, it is experienced. And when her energy rises in your presence, it is her way of saying, without a single word, "You awaken something in me." Attraction has many layers, But one of the most telling is when a woman allows her natural feminine energy to flow openly in your presence. This is not about putting on a performance or trying to impress you. It's about what she permits herself to express when she feels drawn to you. Sexual attraction has a way of softening barriers, unlocking sides of her personality that remain hidden in more neutral interactions. When she is genuinely attracted, you don't just see her, you see her unfolding. Think about the little things. She may start playing with her hair, adjusting her clothes, or enhancing her posture in subtle ways that highlight her femininity. These are unconscious signals, her body positioning itself to be noticed by you. But beyond physical gestures, there's something even deeper. Her voice softens, her laughter becomes freer, her expressions more animated. She's no longer guarded or calculated, she's letting her authentic feminine energy come to the surface. This openness is her way of saying, I trust you with this side of me. Psychologically, this is tied to vulnerability. Attraction reduces inhibition. When she feels safe in your presence and drawn to your energy, her defenses lower. She no longer feels the need to hide behind social masks or formal politeness. Instead, she allows the playful, sensual, expressive parts of herself to emerge. She may tease you, joke more openly, or share personal stories that reveal her inner world. This willingness to reveal is significant. It's a marker that you have stirred something in her that goes beyond casual interaction. Philosophically, this is profound because it speaks to the essence of polarity. Masculine energy, when steady and grounded, creates a container that allows feminine energy to flourish. When a woman feels sexually attracted, she leans into her softness, her receptivity, her emotional richness. It is not weakness, it is the strength of her feminine expression. And when you notice this shift, you realize that attraction is not just about physical chemistry, it's about the interplay of energies, each unlocking the other. You'll also notice that she begins to amplify her presence when you're near. Maybe she becomes more playful, her gestures more expressive, her tone more melodic. She might fix her hair or lips subconsciously, not to impress in a superficial sense, but because attraction naturally makes her more aware of her own femininity. Her body wants to be seen, not by everyone, but specifically by you. This is not vanity, it's biology and psychology merging. Desire makes her want to shine in your direction. And yet, this isn't only about surface-level cues, it's about authenticity. A woman who is sexually drawn to you will feel comfortable enough to let go of pretense. She might reveal her quirky side, her silliness, her deeper emotions. This is because attraction, when genuine, isn't just about seduction. It's about unveiling. She doesn't have to try too hard. She just allows herself to be, trusting that her expression will be received. That trust is key. When she feels safe enough to let her feminine flow without restraint, you can be certain that attraction is at the core. Now, here's where men often miss it. They see the external signals, the hair twirling, the playful tone, but fail to recognize the deeper significance. They focus only on the physical cues without understanding that what matters most is not the act, but the permission behind the act. She is not just fixing her hair, she is inviting you into her world of openness. She is not just laughing freely, she is showing you that your presence awakens her joy. The man who sees beyond the surface recognizes that these expressions are not casual, they are deliberate manifestations of attraction. So what do you do when you notice this? You honor it. You don't mock it, you don't exploit it, and you certainly don't ignore it. You meet her openness with your own grounded presence. Because when she feels that her femininity is not only noticed, but respected, she leans further into it. And that is where attraction deepens, transforming into connection. The truth is, a woman does not reveal her full feminine self to just anyone. She reserves that side for the man who stirs her on a deeper level. If she allows that part of herself to unfold in front of you, it is one of the clearest signs of sexual attraction. And if you are wise, you will not only see it, you will appreciate it, because what she is giving you is more than flirtation. She is giving you access to her essence. So remember this: when a woman allows her femininity to bloom in your presence, it is not coincidence. It is attraction unveiled. And the man who can see it for what it is, who can honor it without taking it for granted, will never be forgotten.